This video is going to show you some samples of some proofs using congruent triangles or proving triangles congruent. So let's look at what we're given. Anytime you start a proof, you're going to have a given set of information and you're going to have a statement that you're trying to prove. So there'll always be just one thing you're trying to prove, and they can give you several given statements if they want to. So here we're given two given statements. In this proof, we're filling in the reasons, and they already have the statements. I think that you're going to have to be able to do a proof from scratch. So for now, we're just kind of easing into it where the statements are given to us. There's two things here in the given. Let's find them in our statements. Usually we list them first. Let's see how they did that. A, B, C, D. That matches right there and there. So the reason is given because, we don't know that. Somebody told us that. So it was given to us. The next statement that was given is B, C, and AD. So I'm going to find that in the proof. That happened to be the second thing they listed. It doesn't have to be the second thing they list. And you could list them both in the first line if you would like to. So just keep that in mind. So there's our two given pieces of information. They've already marked them in the picture, and if they don't, you need to mark them yourself. Now let's look at the picture and see what else we can tell. These triangles, they are touching. They share a side. The shared side we're going to mark with 3 marks, and we need to put that into the proof. Here it is. AC congruent to AC. That's the shared side. And when it's the same exact statement on both sides, the letters match exactly, then this is the reflexive property. Something that they sometimes try to disguise this is by flipping the letters backwards, but remember that this is a segment. You can name it as AC or CA. So they could change the order on it, but it would still be the reflexive property as long as it's the same 2 letters congruent to the same 2 letters here. So now let's look at our picture and let's decide the reason that these triangles would be congruent. There are no angles marked at all. That means that our only option is side, side, side. So let's make sure all 3 sides are marked. We got a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And let's make sure they're listed in the proof here. We've got a side, we've got a side, we've got a side. Our reason is side, side, side. And that's the end of that proof. I'm going to show you another proof in this video as well. Here is another proof. It's very similar to the other one, but this one on the given, they gave us one statement of congruent pieces, and then they gave us another statement that has this vocabulary word in here. So we're going to have to use that. Hopefully you remember what a midpoint is. We were given that AB is congruent to CD. That's right here. So our reason is given. I call these free answers because we could fill this in and we could put given and we didn't have to think about it. The other piece of given information is listed second. So the reason there is given as well. Now we have to think about what our given means. Let's look at our picture here. It says that D is the midpoint of AC. So this point is in the middle of AC. What that means is that to each side of it is an equal length, which means that from A to D is the same as from D to C. Since I've already got a side that has 1 marking, I'm going to mark these pieces with 2 marks. The reason I knew that was because I knew what a midpoint was. So my reason for this is going to be the definition of midpoint. Whoops. Because I was using the fact that a midpoint is defined as, the middle of this segment, breaking it into 2 pieces. I abbreviate definition as DEFN. Midpoint, mid-PT. Okay, so I abbreviated, but please don't abbreviate more than this. This is already quite a bit abbreviated. Definition of midpoint. Okay, so we've got that marked. Let's go back to our picture. Let's see if there's anything else we can do with it. These 2 triangles, they're touching. They share a side. They share this side DB. So since I've already used 1 mark and 2 marks, I'm going to use 3 marks here. BD congruent to BD. Since these are exactly identical, our reason is reflexive property. And now let's look at our picture. The last statement, what we were trying to prove is we were trying to prove these triangles congruent. And let's look at our picture and see if we believe that they are congruent. All three sides in one triangle are marked. All three sides in the other are marked, correspondingly marked. So it is congruent by side, side, side. And again, let's make sure they're in our proof. One side, two side, three sides. All three are there. So we're able to be done with the proof and say side, side, side for the reason.